4. You see some better passing attempts from Kade, I think. Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit about his back. All right, back to a split squat. And now he's actually addressing this foot. Right? I think he does a better job of addressing that foot sometimes. But it's still really hard to deal with when you have less limbs to delete frames with. So again, just drive, drive, drive. Levi has 2 frames on the top. It's really hard to deal with right there. That's exactly how I would strip this, right? You strip and you push it back. And then he kind of almost gets like chest to chest here, right? But, you know, Levi is able to get his K-guard hook back in there on the bottom. Right? As your weight comes up, you open that space up. And yeah, he retains guard because of this. So, you know, he's trying to get chest to chest, trying to get head and arm. It's really hard when you have a K-guard hook there. And Levi's constantly able to just retain guard because he has frames. Right, this I like a lot. This, you know, his knees are basically occupying the bottom pass box, which is really strong. It's just how does he address the top ones? That's the real issue. Right, and having Levi's foot there on his thigh, on his hip is really annoying because he can always kind of leg press you off. He strips it. This is getting pretty close. And he wants to row drag. He's very close to a pass, I think, at this point. And then here, I'm not sure why Levi's hooking. He might be trying to set up a Choi bar, but, you know, when you're getting passed like this, I feel like you need frames, not hooks. Yeah, I think he's trying to go for Choi bar. Right? If Kade is going heavy with upper body, Levi should be attacking the upper body. But, you know, he just exits. Right now, like, yeah, now I see Kade effectively trying to prevent this before even addressing the upper body, right? It's just that leg is very, very annoying. It goes to the tries to invert. See, again, this is a fucking problem, right? That foot on the hip is really annoying to deal with. And like, yeah, you can get head and arm and he's trying to cook him, but like there's no means of having enough muscles to phase through Levi's leg, right? Like there's no mass or like lat pull that strength that you could have that you could just could phase through physical tissue, right? And like the main issue I have with this style of passing is like, yeah, you could be really heavy and you could like really clamp down, but like for this exact reason, right? You give the guard passer your weight, which, you know, Levi capitalizes off of. He's able to elevate and then get the space back, right? He tries to enter legs. Right, so good. So like all his he's never he's never coming up onto double guard pull without a frame, right? Kade does get up. I chalk it up to like, I don't know, athleticism, slippage. But in an ideal world, it really does slow down someone's ability to stand up. And that's very IBJJF kind of thinking, right? If you're in double guard pull, you just stand up, you get 2 points, you get a sweep. So there's more emphasis, I think, under that rule set when you're in double guard pull to not let the guy stand up. And so we see a lot more of like hip frames from double guard pull for people who are used to the IBJJF rule set. hate that. Like just all open, right? Like I don't know. I'm not a pro. Kind of gets in deep on here. Here, this is weird, but I didn't know this until much later, like way after this. Jett Thompson has a sick aoki counter for this, specifically for this, where Levi could have effectively like had his palm against this and go belly down rotating this way. And I think that would have been a serious threat, but he doesn't do it. That's okay. But I think that's a legitimate counter to when people try to spin out in this specific direction to like an aoki kind of control, which he had a straight ankle here, and it's when they exactly they spin, they like force their foot through, they spin. I think this is the wrong way to spin. Um, I would have I would have used my right knee to split between the legs and rotate out to my left. Like I would spin this way. But Kade spins this way, which I know is a very common counter. I just think now, after seeing the Jett Thompson match with John Combs, that I would never do that in my life ever again. It is a nasty aoki, and I think you would seriously damage your leg before your hips even hit the mat. So aoki, and then yeah, people will force their foot through, and they'll try to spin out this way. But like you, if Kade backsteps here, and Levi goes belly down and puts his left shoulder onto the mat while pushing this heel, like it's a devastating heel hook. I guess it's technically an aoki, I guess, but it's brutal. Right, occupying bottom pass box again. The top foot is being really annoying. The top foot is still framing his hip. He tries to go for a leg lock now. I don't think that's gonna work. I think good guard players won't get their legs sucked in like this. Like they will feel you trying to grab their leg, right? And they'll shorten this leg. As long as this knee is free of the knee line, you're safe. Like it's actually pretty easy. Right? So like he's not in danger here, right? Because his knee is already out. And he can use his other leg, his right leg, to help act as a wedge to escape his left knee line. And then here, I'm not in love with this, right? This is it's hard. It's hard because people will always grab your legs like this when you're shooting for like a matrix hook style or even like a backside 50, right? I know Kate's trying to monitor this, and it's hard because the weight's there. But this frame here is so good, right? When you are trying to shoot a matrix hook or a backside 50, it's really hard when their butt is sitting towards your face or they have weight into the leg that you are grabbing, right? So what Levi does really well here is as he throws this matrix hook over, is with this bottom leg, he's no longer framing this hip with a K guard hook, right? There's no need for that, right? Instead, what he does is he follows down, and I would even go down to like the shin, or but basically anywhere on this other secondary leg that you are not grabbing for the K guard. If you can extend them out here, it forces their weight away from you, which makes this leg light, which makes your entry easier. And catches the back step, and then he starts to threaten, which is great, like really good stuff, right? He knows he wants the back step, he wants the high step over to reface him, and he catches it with his right hand right there, right? And so now he knows, okay, I have his back, right? Comes up for the leg drag. His legs in here. Kade's pulling. This I don't think this is real for Kade, like at all. I don't think you can pull someone's leg through if they just literally dorsiflex their foot and just use it and to like because what effectively happens is if this foot is active and you're pulling against here, and I've seen this in sometimes like bottom headquarters, people do this too, where they try to rip the foot across. But as long as this foot is active as the top player, you can't pull the leg through. I don't think you can. You're just basically pulling their bones into your leg, which doesn't do anything. So I think the round will end and nothing will really happen. He's trying to pull or, I don't know, pretend to do a calf slicer. I don't think the angle is just wrong, right? So I think Levi actually ends on a really good note there.